development of working on their playing with high pings.
Well, it's a battle of the high ping, and we are hyping this one up. What a series it promises to be. I just cannot wait to see OWL Esports. So good to see Senzo as well, a man who had retired. He said no more Rocket League, he was moving on in life. But then Sandrock Gaming, now Falcons, they came calling, and at the full major, the last LAN that he was at, good lord did he perform. And
of course the history for IX and Farhad playing on sites, the first team to beat Sandrock Gaming in the MENA region in the winter split. They've definitely got some history competing at the highest level, but it will be Senzo representing Veloce at the wild card. So these guys definitely want to prove themselves now for the future of MENA.
So lots of warming up, lots of showing what you can do, and so far lots of defending for Pirates XD, and it doesn't last too long because IX comes in, he steams in, and he scores the opening goal.
Yeah, Farhad centering it there off of the 50-50. IX coming in and just noticing skill still, not going to quite get that touch on the ball, sends it towards the net, and gets that first goal. And that is going to be the thing we've got to watch out for Pirates XD. Are they going to make lots of those mistakes, and are they going to get punished by OWL?
Yeah, there's certainly more pressure than they would have been used for. Won 6 of the 9 regionals in Sub-Saharan Africa this season at Pirates XD, but it's always so much more difficult when you come up against a team like OWL Esports, and every single, even half mistake is punished, as Skillstealer makes up for his earlier error in getting that save and keeps them only 1 goal behind. You see the speed of the players. There's Darth equalizing quickly.
Sending it off the crossbar and down, and Snowy starting that counter-attack. Darth coming in and punishing the boost grab by Farhad. Snowy following into the boost, bumping him away, opening up that net. Pirates XD, maybe that was just nerves at the start and not what we're expecting to see.
Yeah, you see it all the time where a team comes onto a LAN and, you know, at the beginning they're either shaky or they're reluctant or they're defensive or they're just not themselves. That mistake from Pirates XD, that is by no means representative of their mechanics. Expect to see them, well, doing what they're doing now, blitzing the ball about the pitch, getting there quick. The Skillsteal almost thinks about going up against IX directly, but just manages instead to fake challenge and head right back. So Pirates XD, they're certainly not rushing into things, and they've almost got themselves another chance, but Snowy, unfortunately, was jumping to get a wave dash.
Yeah, we know the Middle East region is known for its speed, a very aggressive region. One thing I've noticed with the Sub-Saharan African region is they tend to be quite grounded. Not many of their players high in the air, so if we can see the ball go around a net high in the air like this, you see IX able to take Skillsteal out of the play, and another one as well. They are so much stronger with their aerial game than the Sub-Saharan African region is used to.
OWL Esports as well, so good with their passes. I mean, that was put into the exact spot that Darth, who was doing quite a tight rotation, did not want to see it. And that is by no means an accident. You know, maybe didn't think about it, but the instincts are there of knowing where your opponents don't want the ball. As IX slows things down again, but Snowy sees it coming and gets it away. But here comes Senzo showing the pace, showing his speed. Snowy in again gets the save, but Farhad is going to put it away. 2-goal lead now for OWL Esports.
Yeah, another mistake in defense. Darth getting beaten out by Senzo. That was fair enough, but Skillsteal just completely faked out by that corner touch. These guys will be playing faster than they're used to, so they'll be rushing their touches, and that's where those mistakes are going to come through.
Skillsteal, a man of much experience, 25 years old in generally quite a young esport, and that's not to throw him under the bus at all. That's, you know, it's impressive to stay competing with these kids who may have more time to play, and you know, the mechanics so much easier to learn when you're a little bit younger. I say that as somebody who, how old am I? 52, you know, so fair play, credit to him. But his team do find themselves 2 goals behind, and OWL Esports starting to warm up. You know, they would have seen F16 earlier take to the stage and put on a show in front of the home fans, and I've got a feeling OWL Esports are going to want to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough first match for these guys. So much experience in the Middle Eastern players here. Probably one of the 3rd strongest, maybe 4th strongest team from Middle East at this event, with Falcons and F16 ahead, which is definitely a high standard set by the Middle East region. And so it's going to be a tough first attempt for Sub-Saharan Africa here. A great save away. Darth just sending that on the goal line towards Snowy, trying to continue that play. But you can just see they're doing the fundamentals so well in the box here, and OWL are punishing all of these misclears.
Doing them quickly as well. I mean, look at this from Senzo. He just has no panic at all when he gets control of that ball. And Farhad, he was already up to smash that one home. But, you know, nobody is expecting Pirates XD to win this 3v3. I know Stumpy is fully believing Snowy to take the 1v1 against Farhad, and I respect it. Oh, lovely little fake kickoff there from Snowy. Mixing up the approach. Didn't quite work out for them there, but they're still talking, still staying composed, not getting frustrated against OWL Esports. And, I mean, if these were your players, Gregan, what would you be saying going into this one? A matchup that you are not expected to win?
I mean, it's all about the experience at this point. You know, the last time these guys got to play internationally, they were playing with 160 ping plus in the Intel World Open, where they knew they were going to struggle just off that alone. And now they get a chance to play on the same ping. They're just going to try and enjoy this experience, get the reps in, and get them prepared for the wild card when they go towards Fort Worth.
Yeah, well, be absolutely huge for them. See how many games, series they can steal. Inspired, no doubt, by APAC. And I hear that Gaming Gladiators got themselves, I believe, a series victory over on the B stream earlier. So that is the first APAC victory, you know, at an international event, should I say, rather than an RLCS this season since they've been brought in. So SSA will be looking to them for inspiration, but right now they need to look to each other and make sure they are defending as strongly and as tallly as they possibly can, because OWL Esports, you know, they're warm. They're going to start to have some fun. I think the banging goals are going to be happening soon. And
I'll be interested to see off the back of this which way Pirates XD go. Will they go for the 2v2, knowing that they've got the experience playing a lot of ranked 2v2, or are they going to look to go and take on that risk with the 1v1 and please Stumpy by getting the Snowy versus Farhad matchup?
I mean, Johnny was calling Stumpy out as saying it couldn't happen, but it could. If Pirates chose 1v1, let's figure this out. Pirates choose 1v1. Pirates win the 1v1, obviously. Then they lose the next two. That is a 3-1, only winning the 1v1.
I think Johnny was assuming that no one will be smart enough or stupid enough to go against Farhad in the 1v1. You'd always choose twos against OWL, as that is their greatest strength, their greatest asset in the crew battle format.
It's like arguing with Twitch chat. Johnny can never be wrong. Of course, he meant something else. Anyway, 50 seconds left. OWL Esports, let's see if they can increase their lead. Seeing there the players just completely intently focusing, which is what we want to see.
Oh,
losing
beautiful.
Anything. But IX, I mean, that is so nippy and speedy.
Yeah, off the sidewall, sending it up to himself. Senzo centering that ball. Underneath it, gets the bump on skill steal on the follow through, and you see Ix actually had the dodge off of that double tap, able to send that towards the net, fully controlled. And these are the mechanics that the sub-Saharan African region are just coming to terms with. They're learning these. They're not used to playing against this intra-regionally, so they're going to get a whole new experience of what to expect from their opponents at events like this.
Learning it and also learning how to defend against it at least, you know, when you can read it. Because if you can do that, you can at least block your opponents away and you know, start to frustrate them. But OWL Esports not being frustrated just yet in this 3v3 at least. It's a better touch from Darth. His wave dash gets into the ball. Good pace from him. Snowy's coming in. Wants to go around that corner. Can he get this one to go over the goal? Oh no, he's taking it away from skill steal. What a lovely moment that could have been. The second SSA goal in international tournament history. It's still going to happen. Snowy again onto the crossbar. Darth, does he go for the shot? It must be so tempting to dive in just now, but he makes the right decision. You know, I almost wanted to have seen him gone in there just in case it worked out, but take the 5-1. Don't risk conceding a 6 if you don't have to. So he prods that ball away. They just want it to end. There it is. OWL Esports, they do take game number 1. And for all that we're talking about this being a big experience for Orlando Pirates XD, OWL themselves, you know, apart from Senzo, these are players that are new to international competition themselves.
Of course, IX only 15 at the moment. That's quite young in Rocket League terms, so not many opportunities to come to lands. They'll have competed in Middle Eastern lands, and it's where you start taking it to that inter-regional level. That's where it starts to become challenging. You come across new play styles, especially for the newer regions that have been introduced into RLCS. They get a chance to play against stronger opposition who have got more history, more time as professional players. So for OWL, after this game, should they go on and carry on as they are now, they're going to get an opportunity to play against players they've been watching for the last 3-4 years competing at the top.
I mean, as for Orlando Pirates, what would you rate of their performance, bearing in mind the skill disparity and the difference in experience between these two teams?
I mean, for them, the experience of playing on stage is obviously important, but it might even be more important just going to the regions and playing ranked on the servers, scrimming against these opposition. That's where they're going to get the more of the time on the pitch playing against high-level players. You could see there, OWL were just faster, beating them in the challenges frequently, and more efficient with their movement. And that starts to break teams down really quickly. We saw Orlando Pirates often on low boost, often in awkward positions, not able to read what was going on, and that just comes with practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a learning curve for them right now. OWL Esports, really impressive team, though. You know, they're not just relying on these mechanics. It wasn't the flashiest performance I've seen from them, and I'm sure they have a lot more in the locker with regards to flip resets and beautiful chain dash goals and all sorts.
Oh, we got the 1v1.
Good to have them in the locker. But Stumpy Goblin, if you're watching, I'm sure you've suddenly, you know, started paying a bit more attention, because the 3-1 with the 1v1 victory is on the cards.
Yeah, it's going to be a real tough match here for Snowy. He's playing against...
Hey, that's the easy bit.
Yeah, he's playing against one of the strongest 1v1 players in history. You know, famously beating Fairy Peak in the final of one of Johnny Boy's tournaments. I think that's really where you start to pick up these top 1v1 players. Can they make their way through a whole bracket? Not just popping off in a single best of one, because that's the real challenge here. Can Farhad download Snowy quickly and punish him early on for his mistakes?
Yeah, the fact that it's only one game is going to benefit Snowy massively. And this is a player that, as was mentioned on the desk, he has beaten Jorias in a game on, you know, an international competition on a LAN environment. So certainly has a bit of history to his name as Farhad tries to get that flick into the top corner. Not quite on... It was on target, but not quite quick enough.
Here we
now
go.
The flip reset. Oh,
beautiful.
A little cancel as well. Beautiful finish.
Nice and simple here for Farhad. And this is what we're talking about. The simple mechanics are so important. You don't want to overcomplicate things because that's where you're going to get counter-attacked. And there was never any doubt there that Farhad was out of control. That flip reset is 100% move for him. Draws the player in, knows he's faster than these players, and you just send it onto the net for free.
So difficult for Snowy as well because there's so much you have to balance when you're up against a player like Farhad. You cannot give the man too much space because when he has boost and he has control, you know, he can do anything he wants with this ball right now, which means there's 5 or 6 different angles that Snowy has to cover, and then he gets the challenge as well. So there he was a bit too passive, but equally, if you dive in, you get punished too. So it's like, what on earth do you do?
Yeah, you see Farhad just creating the space for himself to be able to set up the flip reset. Once in the air with that infinite dodge, it's so hard to challenge in 1v1. Get the ball away safely without then giving away goals like that where you get dunked on. So Snowy got caught in the trap that Farhad had set and is going to get potentially a kick of goal. Now Snowy able to send it away, and this is an opportunity now for him.
He's got boost and he's got his player having to do some shadow defense, but Farhad does do that well. But still more boost control here from Snowy. He's just waiting for Farhad, not rushing into anything too much. Both teams, or both players, should I say, just daring each other to come. But then Farhad, he just changes the pace and gets himself control of the ball.
Yeah, this is what Farhad's going to be looking out for, those small windows of opportunities where Snowy loses control, and he's smart enough to know what to do in those situations. You saw there the bump came out as a tool in the arsenal of the challenge game. Delayed challenges, fast challenges. He's going to be mixing up so much, keep Snowy guessing, but ultimately make the decision that's best off the scenario he's in.
So far, they're Snowy holding his own. Bear in mind that for anybody new to 1v1, when there is a disparity in skill, it shows so much more in this game mode. You can lose by 7, 8, 9 goals if you are not up to scratch. The fact that he's 2 goals down in the first couple of minutes, completely no shame in that. And he's got ball control as well. Can he punish Farhad here as he returns to his goal? Yeah, take the quick shot, and he gets it home.
You see Snowy controlling the ball the whole time, the boost in the corner, sends a shot on net as Farhad's backtracking, which means his save is not good enough. And Snowy instantly reacts, gets behind that ball, sends a powerful shot that Farhad's unable to react and get away. That is great control from Snowy, but you see how much more he has to work for that goal than Farhad did. Yeah,
there'll be no simple goals right now for Snowy, and he's faked the kickoff there. Will he be able to get back in time with some boost? He can, but all the control for Farhad. What a lovely touch that is. Oh, but good recovery from Snowy.
Yeah, a little pre-flip on the recovery, and that's another key part of ones that's often overlooked. You see these mechanical outplays, but sometimes the most important factor is can you recover when it goes wrong? And saving that little bit of boost, landing well, turning as you land is so key to the success of your outplays. As we see right here, Farhad, musty flick didn't work, but instantly back on that ball.
Instantly back on the ball and still with complete control, dribbling it all around the pitch. It's like Aquadome belongs to him. He's adopted one of those sharks. Now he is the predator, chasing down Snowy, bumping him out the way, and then just watching that ball roll home for 3-1.
Another option taken there by Farhad. He recognises Snowy getting too static just the other side of the ball. An easy bump target, caught in a trap again. And that's so key, is those little moments where you ask the question, can you position well enough for this play? If not, I will punish you for it.
Yeah, I feel like Snowy maybe had 1 or 2 chances to go for that ball. That's where you want to see him attacking it a little bit more quickly, because without it, Farhad, he can just punish you all day long. So he wants to get control of this one. Farhad will get a touch out wide. So he does have some boost, but Farhad has the boost and the ball as well. And when he's got flip reset skills like these, wants to get the second touch.
Counter
right there, but this could be a chance for a counter. Should make it 3-2. I saw that Farhad was coming in the center, so slowed things down. Still not rushing Snowy, and it almost pays off as he puts that one into the crossbar. Goes again. Lovely fake. Still not able to get it in. Farhad just always finds a way to get behind it, and the truly cruel nature of 1v1s, you can see Farhad giggling to himself right there, is, you know, if the save is made, you cannot overcommit.
I mean, you look at what Snowy was doing there, it was all the right ideas, just not quite executed well. He had 3 or 4 opportunities to shoot well, and just messed up the first shot, didn't take the second one, and pulled out the fake at the right time, but didn't quite put it on target. Every one of those decisions was correct, just not quite executed, and that comes with practice and time playing on this kind of level.
Here we go again, Farhad to the ceiling, Snowy's up as well. I think Farhad's gonna wanna go for the little double tap here, and he gets it. It's just endlessly consistent from Farhad. The crowd loving it as well.
I love watching these kind of top tier 1v1 players now. You know, they go for these what used to be high-risk plays, and for Farhad in that situation, there was no doubt in my mind he was going to put Snowy in an uncomfortable position at the very least. Obviously, scoring the goal on this occasion. And the consistency and mechanics we see from top ones players is what carries them to this level. It makes it so difficult for simple 1v1 players like Snowy, who aren't able to break an opponent down.
Well, can he get the challenge game strong here? No, again, the recovery from Farhad just that little bit better, but Snowy manages to nip in and let's get a few bumps on it. Will he be able to conserve his boost to put Farhad under any danger? That's better. Not diving into the challenge, gets himself a chance to shoot. If he can just take it, he's got this flick. There's a lot of goal to aim for. Keeps it low, keeps his composure. Again,
a few opportunities to shoot there. Didn't want to take the risk of testing his own shooting ability. Went for the low dribble play. He knew that if Farhad had stopped there, he would have been able to pile drive that over the 50-50. Farhad in the end going for the in and out save, which opened up the free opportunity. I think this is a solid performance here from Snowy, one that is probably asking a question of other 1v1 players who might have to come up against him. Well, I might have to step up to play it. There's not going to be a free win. There is no free win against Snowy in ones.
And I think when he's watching this one back, Snowy, he will be thinking, if only I had, if only I'd shot now, if only I'd taken that extra touch, you know, the minutiae of his gameplay as opposed to any sort of huge discrepancy, but he does give himself a chance. 2 goals in 36 seconds in 1v1, very doable.
This is the classic whiff is better than being good moment, where if he'd shot that on target, Farhad probably would have saved it, but instead he missed it wide, whether intentionally or not, which led Farhad to be in an uncomfortable position, leading to the goal. And we saw that happen a little bit in the 3v3. You know, those misses can often throw off your opponents more than they actually hinder the team that misses. Well, that is just great clock management from Farhad. He knows he's going to be rushed and rush that challenge there.
Yeah, you saw there, Snowy just wanted to get things going. Having to move as quickly as possible, and Farhad shows all the ones experience that he has. One of the best 1v1 players in the world is gracing this pitch right now, and Snowy has kept it to within 3. It was within 2 until that goal went in, so it's been a really good performance from him. Farhad wins another challenge from the kickoff. Can he get it past Snowy? Look at him, oh, good play from Snowy. Managed to close the angle down just enough. Can he get himself one more? Can he get this boost? Can. Snowy just wants this flick. He's been trying it all game, and again, Farhad stays tall at the right moment. I don't think the shooting angle will be here. No, I'm wrong. Snowy wins it and gets himself back to within 2.
That's good control there from Snowy. Just takes on the inside, gets the flick up. Changing up the angle of that ball is so key on those spacious dribbles. Baits Farhad in for a 50-50, opens up the space for the goal. And again, this is one of those where we're not seeing the full power of Farhad right here. He is taking it easy. He's trying out a few highlight plays. He wants to entertain the crowd, knowing that he's got another gear that he can get up to in the future. But I think respectful performance here from Snowy in what is one of the toughest 1v1 opponents in this whole tournament.
Yeah, to me, there were 1 or 2 moments where Snowy could have just reacted a little bit quicker, tried to surprise Farhad. I think Farhad had a pretty solid read on Snowy, didn't shock him. There were no sort of, you know, when somebody's challenging your blind spot and you see them behind the ball, it's like, oh, where did they come from? Snowy didn't do that to Farhad, which would be my one critique. But that's tough. That's incredibly tough. You've got both your teammates watching, peering over your shoulder, going, oh, why didn't you score that? Why didn't you put that one away, Snowy? And you've got to deal with that as a 1v1er.
And you've got to understand, these guys normally play 1v1 on the European servers from South Africa, where they've got 160 to 180 ping. And I know that Snowy has reached Supersonic Legend in 1v1 with that higher ping. It's a whole different playstyle there. You want to try and bait your opponents in, create space, because you can't win the challenge game too well. So they're going to have to change up their playstyle now that they're on the low ping servers and get used to the fact that they can be reactive. They can read the ball and go, I can read that and jump up now, knowing that it's not going to suddenly ping in a different direction due to my high ping.
Well, have they learned the lessons of the first couple of games? Orlando Pirates XD. I mean, it was a very, very solid performance in the first one from OWL. The second one, Farhad is, you know, the far superior player to pretty much any 1v1er, so, you know, that's not a surprise really there. But now we are back to 3v3, and for the first time, SSA, they can take the lessons learned in a specific game mode and apply them on the fly. So we're going to see if there are any tactical changes. What is it that you want to see from Orlando Pirates compared to Game 1?
I think they just need to go as if there's nothing to lose, because they have a very grounded play style. They wait for opponents to make mistakes because that works in the sub-Saharan African region. Whereas here, you have to jump before you even really know why you're jumping at this level. So a little bit more urgency, a little bit more confidence. Stuff like this, perfect. Just jumping off the wall, trying to read the touch, and then seeing what happens out the back of it and just trying to be as efficient as possible.
They're going for it as well. Oh, there was almost a bump there, right there in that corner, but not quite to be. As Farhad goes to the sky this time. He has IX next to him. Welcome back, IX. into the lobby. And welcome back Senzo as well, as he's dancing with the ball right there in the center. Darth comes in quickly, and they definitely do seem to have upped the pace. I think in the first game as well, there were 1 or 2 really basic mechanical errors, which are way below the Pirate skill level. If they can eradicate those, they'll already be better fared.
Yeah, in the region of Sub-Saharan Africa, the only other team that's been of competition to Orlando Pirates has been the Bravado Gaming team. And they have one of the most mechanical players in the region to die for, and he tests the defense of this team and has the ability to outplay, as well as the team's... Go on. Daisy, the teammate, and Happy Meal on that team. They have shown that they can outplay this team, and they've been the challenge for this team in the region, but this is a whole different level. These are players who are confident and are able to do anything in the air, which they've not experienced before, so they need to shut it down earlier so they don't give them the space.
Speaking of space, there's a lot of it right now for Senzo. He's still twirling in the air. Some say he's still air dribbling to this day. Zayas now comes in. Skill Steal, who had a bit of a shaky first game, has definitely stepped up so far in this one. Solid clearances and good touches. Snowy is getting all sorts of involved for Pirates XD, making a really good account of himself, not just in this game, but in this entire series. But it's when this happens that you start to fear for Pirates. That was a massive save right there from Skill Steal, with 2 OWL Esports players charging at him. The defending for Pirates has been solid.
Yeah, they are a strong, solid rotating team. They don't look to overcommit too often. They like to play around each other. I've spoken to their coach a little bit about it, and they look to play similar to the European style of, rotating well, whereas now the modern Rocket League style involves a lot more mechanics. You can't defend forever against these top players, so they need to start getting control of that ball and creating opportunities for themselves.
Senzo's going to meet this one in the center, but he's missed it. Snowy was already there. The pre-jumps continue for Pirates, and it is keeping OWL at bay for now. IX, oh, what an angle that would have been. Something sublime. You can really see they're trying to force these finishes, OWL Esports, just to test Pirates. One poor save will be enough, as IX gets a decent save there onto the backboard for Pirates XD to be punished. But so far, not just getting the car to the ball, also the clearances are going into a good direction. Their linking play has been very effective too.
Yeah, and this is also a moment for us to see how OWL Esports will fare compared to the rest of the competition. Will they be able to step up and take on Furia in the next game and compete with the likes of Yan, who is one of the most offensive players in the world, and create some of the best outplays? Oh. As we see the ball bounce off the post, Senzo sending it wide. Farhad left to try and waste time as Senzo comes in and interrupts.
Time has been wasted incredibly effectively. 3 minutes have gone as Darth gets onto the backboard. Oh, not quite there from Snowy. He's had such a good game, but on that occasion, couldn't quite get the angle that he needed to put it away. The Pirates XD, they should take heart from that. That has to give them confidence and faith that they can break this deadlock. Imagine if an SSA team could even take the lead against a team from MENA. Could be huge, but IX could break their hearts right now to the backboard. Here you go, Skill Steal up as well. Farhad, he takes a turn, gets the pass towards Senzo. And Pirates, they are defending these infield passes impeccably.
Yeah, and you can see how they're shutting things down early. They're meeting them at the challenge point rather than giving them the space to set up the flip resets, the double taps. And this is making OWL Esports a little bit more rushed and really starting to test them. It's asking questions of them. Do they have the ability to close this series out in 3 and step up to the level that they need to be to take on the rest of the competition at this event?
Keeping their spacing really far away from each other as well, Pirates. Not bunching up and getting tempted to double commit and go for these challenges together. It's really good stuff. As Snowy tries to link that play, Farhad closes him down. Good speed again from Darth. Now IX, he goes solo this time after the infield passes have just been read time and time again against them. It's more good defending right now from Pirates, but the pressure is beginning to increase.
Open.
That could be a chance, though. Is this one going all the way in? Skill Steal, he's going to put it in. Pirates XD take the lead.
Skill Steal sending it all the way from defense, and overcommitment here from OWL Esports. Well, Skill Steal
all the way from defense there, yeah?
I think it was Darth who said that, all the way from defense. Skill Steal upfield. To be honest, that could have gone in even if there was a final defender there, because they had that linking play upfield, and I'm loving that from Pirates XD. They've always got someone rotating to the middle of the pitch, ready to intercept that ball and continue that play forward.
And now we have 35 seconds left for OWL Esports to avoid getting a little bit red-faced. Senzo there wants to go over the top. Can he do it?
Save!
No, it's saved! A brilliant save there on the goal line. And Skill Steal can almost get control, but he was a little bit slow. Farhad comes in. It's bumped away by Skill Steal. Senzo's coming forward now. 20 seconds. It's Snowy flicking the ball away, just desperate to get a car on the ball. Skill Steal there. anyone able to close him down? It's Senzo, but every time they get control, it's just bumped away by a player from Orlando Pirates XD, but Darth, another massive save. Senzo wants to get around it. He's putting that one on net. Darth and Skill Steal combined, and that is going to be the game. The first game for a sub-Saharan African team in international Rocket League history. What a moment, no matter what happens from here.
They're going to be smiling after that. They just want to gain this experience. You can see Zebra, their coach, incredibly excited over the players. These players aren't particularly emotional. They're not the...
They're professionals.
They're
chilling.
Stoic as they go through, but they're going to be feeling happy after that. That was a solid performance. They defended so well, but shout out to Darth. He had an amazing performance.
Defensively, yeah.
Defensively, he got that clear into the goal, which Skill still did take at the final moment, but he made 2 or 3 really important saves just after they went ahead to keep them in that game. But now we've got to ask the question, 2v2, Snowy and Darth, I assume, going in, taking on the likes of Farhad and I guess IX?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Senzo is in on loan as well. So these are the two that have been playing together all season. They've done some good work all season as well. They'll be a lot more comfortable and familiar with each other. It's also, I feel like it would be a bit strange if you're the player that's left out, if Senzo's brought in on loan and then you don't play the twos, but then misplayed ones for G2 earlier, which I was very angry about, stealing us of the Atomic Derby. So it has been done.
We do know Senzo is a player who's willing to take a step back and let other people take the limelight, you know, retiring shortly after his LAN debut and then coming back now because everyone wants him to join. You know, he is not someone who's trying to steal the limelight. So I can imagine him going, look, you guys, you're great. You go do that 2v2, and I'll watch from the side.
But equally, there's $2 million on the line, and Senzo's really good at Rocket League. So, you know what I mean? If it's between that and just my mate being a bit happier, sorry, my mate. But it is Senzo.
Oh, there we go.
It is Senzo. Senzo and Farhad. What a great combo this could be. And Darth and Snowy. I feel like Darth definitely earned his spot on this team with his performance in the last one. Now, can OWL Esports get the initiative back? Because a goal here for Pirates could suddenly completely change just the mood here, and that's not going to happen because Senzo is really good at Rocket League. $2 million on the line.
Too much space given up there by Snowy. That ball was loose and free for him for so long, but he felt uncomfortable, low on boost, completely backed off, leaving the net empty for Senzo. That's the kind of decision-making that comes from a player who's used to having a bit more time and space. You do not get that against Middle Eastern teams.
They just need to remember that what was so effective for them was surprising OWL Esports with their pace and the fact that they could dive in when it was needed. That's better from Snowy. That'll get his confidence back up. There is another chance here for Farhad. Darth is just waiting underneath it. He's faked out. Snowy comes in. Is there a Senzo-shaped card charging in? There is, but Darth, the man is just, I think it's fair to say, the best defender in the world.
I don't think that's fair to say. I think it's maybe this series. I think we can give it.
All right, I'll give you that.
No, but Darth is one of those players who's done well in the stats over in the sub-Saharan African region. One of the highest performers alongside Snowy and a few of the Bravado Gaming guys. I think this is what we're starting to see with these newer regions coming in is you're getting individuals really shine. We saw Burn earlier playing for Detonator, and those individuals, if they find the right players, the young players coming through to join them, they can start making splashes in the international level.
Ooh, almost. Snowy fed that one through towards Darth. Not quite there. Darth tries to come from the ceiling, but that one's just going to fall for Senzo. Good speed again from Snowy. He has definitely woken up after that passive start to the series, as OWL show some good defense of their own. Senzo waiting on the backboard. Oh, and then in comes Farhad. It's hit the post. Snowy again on hand. And they're supporting each other, Pirates. If there is a mistake, they've got someone there behind them just to back up their teammate.
They do, and they're playing the game well. I think it's a similar story to what we saw in ones of they're making good decisions. It's just not the execution that they're familiar with. They're not used to playing at this speed or having to work around players who are this aggressive. And so as they get used to that, and as this series has gone on, they've definitely acclimatized to the pace.
Snow's going to try and flick that one over the top and manages it. And there's a fellow touch from his teammate Darth, who's started off a bit slowly in this 2v2, but is definitely getting more involved now. And now Senzo can go with an air dribble, or at least a little wave dash that he caught for himself with that flip reset. Farhad is coming in. He's got plenty of boost as well. So much boost for the OWL Esports team. Absolutely burning through it, but always seem to have so much still in the tank. Snowy, tough defending, and Darth helping him out. So OWL Esports, they are just barging on that door, but the two Pirates players are not letting them through again.
Opportunity here, shot taken. Farhad's going to send it to the far post. Snowy caught in the middle of a half flip, expecting Darth to get that bump on the follow through. Not quite able to, and they're caught off guard. Farhad sending that one home. That is the 1v1 player within him, just recognizes when there's that gap and punishes. Yeah,
we'll always punish as well. You know, you can do the fancy stuff all you like, but if there is a chance for a quick shot, Farhad has that speed of thought. to be able to put it home. That's a great clearance, though.
Low boost on the keeper.
There's a miss as well, so Snow will be able to take control of this ball, at least for now. Senzo was back to the ball for a second, but managed to do well with it, and somehow, despite being bumped, gets it past two of them, might be able to follow it up for a third for his team, but Farhad had rotated back.
I think Senzo and Farhad are a good duo. You are right about Senzo being an amazing player. I think his greatest strength is not trying to do too much. He's willing to take the 50-50, make the fake, and then just rotate out, giving the space to Farhad. And he's facilitated those opportunities for Farhad and defended well behind him. So Senzo coming in as the 2v2 player. We might not get to see Ajax again until they play in the next round if they do take this game here. But a strong performance here from Snowy and Darth. Definitely going to be asking lots of questions in that lower bracket of the teams they come up against. Yeah,
they have looked pretty strong, Pirates. Stronger than a lot of us gave them credit for so far. There is still plenty of time in the 2v2 game to get a couple of goals. Can certainly be done here, but a third one would really hurt Pirates. Al would love it as Senzo goes under, but Darth, another huge save. And Snowy from the side. Darth was then bumped out the goal, so Snowy is somewhat alone here, but Darth manages to get back just in time. There's more pressure here for OWL Esports, but Pirates have a pretty good defensive stronghold on this one until that one touch gets it past them. OWL Esports surely will see this one away from here.
You just see 0 on the tank for both the defenders there. Farhad just keeping that ball in, recovering fast, and you can see that speedy movement on landing, which allows them to keep coming back in as they drain the boost of their opposition. And that's going to put them 3-0 up with not a huge amount of time here left for Pirates XD. Not looking likely to score at any moment, but they have defended well. They've kept the scoreline a little bit lower than we might have expected.
I mean, Farhad was clearly having a good time in the 1v1. He felt at home, he felt comfortable, knew he'd win that game. Had a bit of a giggle once or twice with some funky kickoffs, but I mean, until this moment where OWL Esports are starting to pull away, it's not been like that in this 2v2. Pirates really asked some questions of OWL Esports.
They did, and you can see little moments like that, just misreads is the hardest bit of any team that's coming over and playing against stronger opposition they're not used to. Reading what your opponents are doing is the hardest bit. When you start scrimming them and you start playing them a lot, you do get used to it and you get used to that pace. It's the same as if you rank up in any game, you start to get used to that higher level. And they do get a goal. They do find a goal at the end there.
The first ever 2v2 SSA goal in international competition. So a big moment to enjoy. Right there from Darth. I mean, Darth has... It's fair to say he has impressed the masses. Defensively, the clearances that he's made, not just getting his car to the ball, as I said earlier, but putting the ball into a place where nobody from OWL Esports is going to be able to follow it up and put it home. You know, really impressive. But, you know, when Farhad's on the pitch with you, he can get through anybody.
Yeah, we were highlighting the impressive nature of the South African players on stage right now, but really it is Farhad who has impressed everyone in this series.
That's fake.
He looks so in control of this lobby. He seems to be ahead of everyone, knows when to fake, knows when to take it high, and has the mechanical ability to mix it up. So Farhad has truly exceeded the South African players' expectations and made it incredibly difficult for them to compete. But this is all about experience.
What I love about Farhad already is that he doesn't seem to overly rely on his mechanics. You know, he reminds me of Seiko a little bit, where he has them in his locker, but he's not going to go, hey, I'm going to try 15 flip resets in a row. There's so much more to his game. He can play solidly. That doesn't bother him. He can play defensively. That doesn't bother him. He doesn't seem to have much of an ego to his game. But when he does have that boost, and when he does have a few seconds to stare his opponent in the eye, you just know that he's going to find a way to get past them, and that, to me, is the most devastating sort of player.
I think we can all take a moment here and just appreciate Stumpy was right almost. 3-1 prediction from Stumpy. He did say the 1v1 was going to be the win for Snowy, and if he just said 3v3, he would have been a genius. But on this occasion, it is OWL Esports who are going to be taking it 3-1, showing pure class from this player here, Farhad. OWL Esports progress to the next stage.
Absolutely beautiful. Another $10,000 minimum added to their prize winnings as well for OWL Esports, but also all of this international experience under their belts. They are